Hey Vinyl community, this is Chris. I'm here to do a thread response. I saw a Rob Walker Let the Music Play video, show 10 records or so with famous people as the title or the subject, something. It was yesterday, so I may have forgotten all the specific details. The first one I saw in this thread was John Bellamy had done a response, and then I went and watched Rob's, and Mike, the Vinyl Policeman, had done one also. So I thought I would try to do something appropriate or pertinent. So starting off with Aztec Two Step. They're self-titled, might be their debut album, but the song off of here is this one here, The Persecution and Restoration of Dean Moriarty on the Road. So Dean Moriarty was a character in the Jack Kerouac On the Road novel, but he was a version of Neil Cassidy, who was one of the Jack Kerouac's friends that was involved. So, and then he later on, I think he got a name change in other novels, but he was still referenced. So, Aztec Two Step, sort of folk rocky. Here's the label, white label promo on Elektra. 1972. Next up, there's the, oh, sorry, couldn't find where the opening was. And Dwella, People's People. This one is Saint Bartholomew, who I think was one of the 12 disciples. So whether you want to consider that a real person or not, but pretty famous anyway on the ABC Dunhill label. This was 1971. All right. Floyd Westerman, Custer Died for Your Sins. So the title subject, General Custer, who was wiped out, him and his command at the Battle of Little Bighorn. On the Perception label, 1969. Going into some folk music, which almost isn't fair because folk or protest type folk music, you know, all they did was pick out people to, you know, targeted people that they needed to sing about. But this one is Jesse James. So we have General Custer and Jesse James getting two you know, Western type folk heroes. I don't know what you want to call them. This is on the Riverside label. I'm checking for the date. 1958 is when this was recorded. Ed McCurdy, Songs of a Bold Balladeer is the title of this album. Jesse James. Some jazz. Charles Mingus. Changes 2. So this one is the last track on the last side for Harry Carney. He was a bass saxophonist, I think, in the Duke Ellington band. So this was a song for him. On the normal Atlantic label. This was put out in 1975. All right, then a little more mainstream here. Ozzy Osbourne, Blizzard of Oz. So the track here is Mr. Crowley. So Aleister Crowley from the UK into whatever that you want to ascribe him to. I think Jimmy Page may have also been a fan of his. On the Jet label. 1981. Simon and Garfunkel, Bridge Over Troubled Waters album. And the track is So Long Frank Lloyd Wright, the famous architect. U.S. architect, Frank Lloyd Wright. On Columbia, this is probably a reissue. 1970, I think. Bridge Over Troubled Waters, Simon and Garfunkel. And now I think we go back to the Old West. Joe Ely, Lord of the Highway. 1987 on High Tone Records. And the subject we have here is the song's called Me and Billy the Kid. So William Bonney, the famous Western outlaw or folk hero, depending on your point of view. All right, Mimi Farina. 1987 on Rounder Records. Well, Rounder as with Philo as a subsidiary. And the song on this album is Mary Call. So she was a character in Where the Lilies Bloom movie, played by I forget now, Julia Golhosh, the actress. But Mary Call. She wrote a song for the movie, which eventually was rejected, but that was her inspiration. The character Mary Call, as played by Julia Golhosh. Or some name like that, which I will try to correct if it was wrong. All right, here's another example of what I was talking about. American Industrial Folk Songs by John Greenway. So a lot of people are named in here, but this one, well, one of them was Mother Jones. Had a magazine inspired that was named after her. But Chief Adderholt is the song. They're on side 2. So he was the police chief, and he was murdered in a strike in Gastonia, North Carolina in 1929. So this was related to union activity and protesting of workers' rights and conditions. Chief Adderholt. May not be that famous overall, but a real character or a real person. All right, Richard and Mimi Farina. They on Vanguard label. And they did a song, Alan's Interlude. So this was a song about, or inspired by Alan Atwell, who was a contributor, contributing editor to Timothy Leary's Psychedelic Times. That may not be the correct title of the magazine, but you know, something about the psychedelic experience. So Alan Atwell was involved with that magazine and inspired Richard Farina to write a song about that. And I think this was about 1965 that this was put out. And then the final one is Peter Bellamy. Originally from New Tradition, or Young Tradition, I mean. This is on the Trailer label. But this song is to Nostradamus, the famous prognosticator, predictor, author. I think he was French. I forget the year, but there's the Trailer label. Nostradamus. All right, so that was my approximately 10 famous, or at least real people, or the representations of real people as in a character or a play. And in the background was this album here, Hurry Sundown by Henry's Eighth, or Henry's Eight. This is a Wells College a cappella group that has put out albums over the years. This one is, I think, around 1965, and it's Voked Quality recordings on the VQR label. I would show you the label itself. Well, I have to take it off anyway, so hold on. So there's the VQR label. So there you have it. Thanks, Rob, for providing this opportunity to me, this means of doing another video without having to think too hard to come up with an idea. So thank you, Rob, and everyone else that provided input on this thread.